Okay, so we have our dialogue here, and we've made sure that we've done a couple things. We wanted to make sure that there was space between these two characters talking because it allows us a little bit more editing freedom for in case we do need to make cuts or we do need to make adjustments along the way. So we're going to begin with just identifying that these two characters are now having a back and forth conversation, and we kind of want to make that a little closer, to simulate an actual conversation between two people. So a very simple way to do that is to go ahead and learn just to split between these two characters. So luckily we can just kind of drag, and this should automatically create a crossfade between these two parts. That'll help simulate a bit smoother transition between these two characters. So when we do that, the dialogue becomes a little bit more snappy, and we're able to get a more human sort of flow to the way that these two characters talk. So we'll just take a listen. Angry man, Henry. About what? Are you envious? Do you get envious? No, it's a bit rough still, but it's getting there. So another cool feature of this particular DAW is, say we didn't want to do that. Let's say that this character's dialogue was just a mistake, right? There's an option here that's known as the ripple edit. And what ripple editing does is it allows you to just take this piece and delete it. And you see how this part here snapped over to this portion here. There's still a split there, but it just deletes the dialogue and shifts it over to you. It's very useful. Additionally, it doesn't just delete the dialogue from existence. You can still roll out what used to be there from either side. Or you can also just do what I just did earlier and create your new crossfade. It's pretty simple, and it's a very useful tool. Additionally, if you did want to make that a more permanent thing, you can just go ahead down to your item menu and glue those together. And what it'll do is it should just create a very seamless place where these two tracks meet. But let's say that you didn't want to do any of that. Let's just say that your characters are having a good conversation, and the thing you want to do most is make sure that this dialogue is snappy. So you're just going to go ahead and make your edits here and try and get the dialogue as close as it can be to snappy conversation, right? We're going to go ahead and do that with the whole track and just see what happens along the way. See how it changes. Man, Henry. About what? Are you envious? Do you get envious? No, I don't think so. No. Okay, so typically we'll just go ahead and go through the whole track and get that portion done. Okay, so let's imagine for a second that our two characters are not sitting right next to each other, that they are having a conversation on the phone, and you want to make sure that the audience can tell that character A is on one side and character B is on the other side of the phone. So we're going to take our cut up audio, character 1, character 2, and so on and so forth. And we're going to go ahead and move these cut up tracks down to a different track. And in this instance, we're going to learn a little bit about the effects you can choose. So I have gone and added an EQ effect to this particular track itself. And this effect is very useful. It is the Pro Q, and you can go ahead and find it just by selecting any of these little empty spaces here, and you can go and find the Pro Q right here, the VST. So this effect is pretty cool because it comes with a bunch of different presets for it, and one actually suits our needs perfectly. It's the phone effect here. So when we go ahead and make sure that our effects have power to them, we're going to go and hit play, and if the things went as planned, both of these tracks should sound very different than when they first started. So here we go. Angry man, Henry. About what? Are you envious? Do you get envious? No, I don't think so. No. So there we have a completely different dynamic when it comes to adjusting and how it sounds conversationally. Okay, cool. So now we're going to talk a little bit about